Hello folks, I'm Dean with Dean's Woodworking. Welcome to the shop. Y'all come on in and make yourself comfortable. Today we're going to turn a goblet or a champagne glass or something resembling one or the other, okay? Stay tuned and find out what. On the lathe here, we've got a piece of elm between centers. This piece is roughly 8 inches long. It's roughly 2.5 inches diameter. We may be leaning more towards a champagne glass here, so we'll give ourselves a little bit more right there, maybe right there, and then we'll come on down and we're going to have our base down here. So we've got this area in here to work out. This will be our champagne glass up here. We'll go ahead and start bringing that down. This piece of wood is not exactly dry, but it's not real green either. When I say that, it was cut back in February. So it's been laying there for about a year, but by no uncertain terms is it fully dry. So we're just going to kind of get our basic shape here. We're going to leave a lot of mass in here because what we've got to do now is we've got to hollow this out. Many of you may have watched the video where I made the tool I'm getting ready to use. It's made with a double-ended ball mill and makes a great hollowing tool. So I will link the video of making this down in the description. And if you just stick that straight in, it will drill. But it does a great job of hollowing as well. See how it just goes straight up in there? And then we can come up and do. And the more you turn that, the more aggressive it gets. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish hollowing this out. Give you guys a little different view there. That's a pretty aggressive cut that I'm doing there. And this wood seems to be a lot drier than what I thought it was too. And basically when I put this in here, I'm shoving it in with this up and down. At that point, it's pretty neutral. You don't get a lot of cutting going on. It will drill at that point, but as you rotate it away from you just a little bit, that's when it starts cutting. And the more you rotate it away from you, the more aggressive it gets. As we do this, you just want to go slow. Last thing you want to do is get in a hurry when hollowing something like this. Then you go ahead and break that rule, you know, the one that says you cannot make the inside bigger than the outside. We got to put a little mark on there because that's one of the spots where I need to really work on just a little bit. And as I go back in there, I can feel that high spot there. Okay folks, I believe it's time to do a little bit of sanding on the inside of this. We've got it to about 1/8 of an inch all the way out, which is about what I wanted. It's a little under 1/8 of an inch right at the lip and hits about 1/8 of an inch and works its way all the way down, and it stays roughly about 1/8 of an inch to right about in here. And then we're going to kind of pull this on down a little bit on the outside, so we'll be just the right thickness once we get done. I'm going to go ahead and sand out the inside. You can't really see anything there, so I'll be right back. Hey folks, while I'm doing that, if you don't mind, go ahead and go down and click the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up because YouTube seems to really like those thumbs up, and I appreciate them too. So I'll be right back once I get the inside of this sanded out. Hey folks, I want to show you something real quick. I released a video on this sanding stick earlier in the week and thought what a perfect time to show you how to use it. So I've been using this to sand out the inside of the goblet. Let me show you what I've been doing. So we've got the lathe running roughly 500 RPMs. You put this in and you just use it to sand out the center. You can fold the sandpaper over the end, and therefore when you go in there it sands the bottom as well. So I started off with an 80 grit, went to a 180, a 220, this is a 320, and this is as far as we're going to sand that. That way you get to see exactly what I was doing and how it works. Okay, what we're going to do now is we've got the inside hollowed out, we've got the inside sanded. We're going to bring up this cone. Here's the thing. Turn your lathe on when you're bringing up this cone. Make sure you're locked down and bring it in very, very slowly. When it starts to turn, that's as far in as you need that. If you push too far, you will split that. This is only about 1/16 of an inch thick out here at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this down here just a little bit. Remember, we had a little bit more wood left in here. Not a lot. So we're going to go ahead and bring the speed up a little bit. I'm going to do a peeling cut right here to kind of get rid of some of this. Actually, I might as well go ahead and go in and do a couple of peeling cuts here. We don't need a whole lot of that left at this point. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of it. Okay, so we got just a little bit we can take off right here. We should be able to remove that pencil line. Let's go ahead and get the spindle gouge. I think that's a better tool for what we're doing right there. Those peeling cuts can help you get rid of a lot of wood in a hurry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop and take this opportunity to sand the outside of this goblet. Okay folks, I went ahead and finished the sanding of the cup. I came in and put a parting cut right in here just so I know where my bottom was. Didn't go in very far because I've still got a lot of work to do out here. I don't want to take away too much of that back there. So we'll go ahead and start bringing this down. And so this is going to be our base here. I'm going to take a bowl gouge and bring this down here just a little bit. Start working that back. And on this stem, I'm going to leave it very plain up at the top. Okay. And then we'll take the bowl gouge and we'll bring this on down with the bowl gouge. May be able to get just a little bit more in this. We'll switch over to the 3/4 inch skew. And we're just a little high for that right now. So I'm going to stop and let this down just a little, let the tool rest down just a little bit. And I want to move that in just as close as I can get it. And one of the things, let me point out here folks, when you're turning these stems, what looks like it's tiny on the lathe will look big and clunky when you get it off. So it always looks smaller when you're turning it than what it is. And we're just going to work this back a little at a time. And that stem is roughly 1/4 inch, maybe just a little bit more. I'm going to put just a little bit of bead right here at the bottom. We'll start with it a little big, and then we'll just slowly work our way down. Okay, we're going to come in and remove some of this now. And again, I'm going to grab my skew because I can come in right there with that heel right to where I want to be. And let's finish rolling that right over. So folks, this is just a 3/8 spindle gouge. It'll let us do some of that fine detail work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some off this outside edge. Let's stop it and take a look at it. Yeah, we need to bring a little bit more off because we got a little bark there, so. Okay, we're going to round this off. Just soften that corner there. That's all we're doing. And again, we're going to do the same thing here. Just soften that corner. Now I think we pretty well got the shape. That pith in the middle was split just a little bit. So we do have just a little bit of a split there, but that's not a crack that's going to form later. That's the pith running right up the middle of that stem. A lot of times, if you can get that pith running up the stem, it'll give you some coloration differences that I personally like. Some folks may not. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sand this stem. We're going to sand the base. And then I'm going to be right back to part it off. Okay folks, we've got this turned to the shape and size we want it. We've got it hollowed out. We've got it sanded. We're going to go ahead and put some Minwax antique oil finish on it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Minwax Antique Oil Finish, they do not sponsor my channel. I am not tied into Minwax at all. It's just I like this finish. So I want to share it with you folks. I use it on all of my green wood turnings because you turn something that's green, you put this on it, wait a day, put another coat, and you pretty much eliminate cracking. If you put this on, wipe it off, you're going to get a satin finish. If you put it on, let it dry, you're going to get a glossy finish. We can go ahead and put some antique oil right on the inside of this goblet. You folks may be able to see that moving. We're going to turn this on real slow. I just want to put that in there and let it soak into the wood. And I'm going to show you something here in just a second that you might find interesting. Some of you may have already discovered this. You see this right here? The end grain? The oil's going all the way through and soaking all the way through the wood. And we're going to go ahead and put some on the outside here. And that way it can be soaking through from the inside and the outside. But it's going to pretty much saturate this little cup. Because after sanding, this thing is well less than 1/8 of an inch thick all the way along that cup. You can see when I move the brush how the cup moves. That's because that stem's a little less than 1/4 of an inch. Okay folks, so that is set there for just a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and take the rag, and with a very soft touch, we're going to wipe the oil off. Now one thing I would caution each of you, when you get a rag saturated with this oil, don't wad it up, put it in the trash can, or throw it down in your shop. I have never had a problem, but anytime you're dealing with an oil finish, you've got to know that there is the ability for that to combust. So I'm always very careful anytime I use one of these rags with oil. I make absolutely sure that it is disposed of properly. Okay folks, here's where we take part this off. So I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to get my tool going in the way I want it to go in so that I can make a cut with my left hand. I'm going to turn the speed up just a little bit with my right hand, and then I'm going to take, and you notice I'm not holding this cup. Not at all. If you grip that, you're going to snap that stem, and you'll do it before you even know that you've done it. Okay, so let me make us a couple of relief cuts here. We probably need that going just a little bit faster, and we need that tool rest just a little bit lower. So we're going to give ourselves just a little bit more speed. Again, do not touch it. There you go. We did get just a little bit of tear out right there. Like on a lot of things you folks see me do, I will take my sander and I will just sand it out. I just keep the sander moving. You smooth it right on out. I'll come in with the brush, dab just a little bit of antique oil right on the bottom, get it good and wet, and that'll soak right on into the goblet. Once it's set there just a few minutes, I just come in, wipe it out. We started off to make a little goblet or champagne glass. I'm certainly not an expert on glasses or glass shapes, nor do I pretend to be. But if you take a look at that, I think we got pretty close to something. This is a fun little project. I had a blast doing it for you guys tonight. Your friends and family will love these. People look at a champagne glass or a goblet and it's made out of wood and they go, wow, how did you do that? Well folks, it's not that difficult as you saw. If I can do it, you can do it. Get out in your shop and give it a try. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy turning.